turn up the heat on my friend Christopher Mad Dog Rizzo. We get to be in the studio together so infrequently.
Very rarely.
I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity right now. Which team will make a bigger postseason run? We know both teams are getting in. Who goes further, the O's or the Dodgers?
The O's or the Dodgers. Wow, that's a good one. I'm going to say Baltimore because they're not going to have to deal with Milwaukee and Atlanta.
Milwaukee
for the Dodgers.
scares me.
They got good pitching. And, of course, Atlanta. Baltimore not as dominant with the other teams in the American League. So there's more of them, but there's not a real good team. I mean, there's good teams, but there's not a great team. Atlanta's a great team. So from that standpoint, Milwaukee's very dangerous. So I think if you're looking at it from that standpoint, I would say the Orioles got a chance to go a little further. They're both going to be basically in the same boat. The difference, of course, is the Dodgers are the 2 seed. If the Orioles win the division, they're the 1 seed, and I think they will win the division. And so as a result, Baltimore will get a bye, and they will play in the Tampa bracket. That's another thing that does bother you. Baltimore is going to be with the 4-5 thing in that bracket. So they're going to have to beat Tampa again, maybe, right out of the gate. They're going to have that's
hard. So you think Baltimore's going to win the AL East over Tampa?
Yeah, I do. They got a 3-game lead. They get at least a game this weekend. They'll still be in first place. 3 games in a loss column.
Okay.
And they'll still be in first place. So from that standpoint, I think Baltimore will savage it. I think the Orioles have a better chance to go a little further in the playoffs than the Dodgers do.
All right. Right now, the Orioles have the best record in baseball. The Dodgers have the second best record in the National League. Will 3 teams from the NL Central reach the postseason?
No, I don't think the Reds will get in.
Why?
I don't like their starting pitching. I think at the end of the day, the Reds will come up a little shy. I got to look at that schedule, too. They got the Mets. They have games with the Cardinals and the Pirates. Not impossible.
The Reds have advantage. They have the second easiest schedule in the National League behind the Padres.
All right, so they have an easy schedule. What are they right now? They both got the same.
Well, they're tied with the Diamondbacks for that 3rd wild card spot.
Both have 71 losses. The season series, Arizona won the season series, right? So that means they're a game ahead. Arizona beat them 3 out of 4 last week. So Arizona won a season series. So that means the Reds are theoretically still a game behind. I think they come up a little shy. I think the Reds starting pitching.
I'm so hard for the Reds because of Votto. Because of Votto.
Yeah, be good. That's a good point, Votto. And by the way, big story on Votto. And 2 days ago in the New York Times.
Bigger than when he came on high heat.
Well, it was all about his, want to be in social media. It was a good story.
I know. He's trying to build his brand.
He's trying to build.
It's all about building the brand, Chris. All right, last question. Should the Mets consider trading Pete Alonso? I know Steve Phillips thinks that they might. He was on your radio show talking about it. He was on our show yesterday, too. Thank God. Steve Phillips is the best.
Oh, he's good. Yeah, him and no doubt.
Should they trade Pete Alonso?
I would be surprised if they ever did. Now, he made it sound like, Steve, to me, that is in play. That, of course, with Stearns there, the mid-market scenario with Milwaukee, the Mets going a different direction. He is going to be a little older. I would be really surprised if Alonso's not a Met for the foreseeable future. Here's the issue with Alonso. Goldschmidt, Goldschmidt makes in the $160 million range. So does Freeman. So does, obviously, Olsen.
Yeah.
They get 165.
All of them should.
They should. But is Alonso going to want to make $300 million?
What first baseman makes $300 million?
Well, I mean, Judge, New York City.
But Judge isn't a first baseman.
That's fair. It's fair. Is he going to want to go in that department up to the 250, 300 range, or be satisfied with the Olsen thing?
If you're delusional, sure. I mean, your agent has to have give you some sort of perspective. I mean, I think 165. Maybe he's above 165.
Is Boris his agent, Mr. Boris?
That I don't know.
Can we look that up, please? That's important. He's the best agent in the world.
I think Boris, he is the best agent in the world, but I don't think Boris is going to consider Pete Alonso for $300 million.
And try to get it.
He'll try to get it. Doesn't mean he's
going to. Well, that means he runs them to free agency, and that means it becomes a major pain.
Every Boris client runs to free agency. But the Mets can play in free agency.
I would think that he's going to end up stay with the Mets.